Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm finally testing all of the new Revolution stuff. I've got their matte foundation, the matte concealer, the new face powders. I've got the eye glistens. I've got the new Reloaded palettes. I've also got the Onyx primer. We've got tons of stuff to get through today. But before we jump into all of the goodies, I just wanted to say today's video is sponsored by ShopTagger. Thank you guys so much for working with me again. I have worked with ShopTagger before, and they're basically like a web app that helps you like organize your wish list, and ShopTagger does work on the Revolution website as well, which is why I've included it in today's video. So basically you just go to the product that you want and you add it to your ShopTagger. They will notify you when it goes on sale or if the product comes in back in stock. It can be used on other websites as well, like Misguided, Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, Revolution of course. So if you don't want to pay full price for items, I mean who does, but if you want to wait till things go on sale, this is the way that you don't forget. So basically you add it to your ShopTagger and they will notify you when it goes on sale or comes back in stock, so that way you save some coins. And also if you want to get something that's like really popular and it keeps selling out, for example the James Charles palette, then you can easily add it to your ShopTagger and they will notify you when it comes back in stock, so you could be the first to grab it. It's free, by the way. You don't have to pay for the web app. You literally just attach it to your browser and just start adding things to your wish list, and you can keep all of the stuff that you want to buy in one section and it will tell you when it goes on sale. That's the best part to me because I love a sale. So now let's just go ahead and jump straight into this video. So first of all, because we're using a matte foundation, I'm gonna go in with a very intense moisturizer. Even though I have oily skin, I don't tend to like being too matte. I like to have a little bit, just a little bit of dew to my skin. So this is the Pixi Rose Ceramide Cream Intensive Moisturizer. I've been loving this. As you can see, it's like been squeezed out. So now we're going to start with the Revolution Onyx Primer, which is a black primer, literally black primer, but it says it's blurring and mattifying, so I'm hoping it's not too matte because we're going in with a matte foundation as well. So this is what it looks like. It has a little pipette, I think people call it, a little dropper. Revolution got people out here doing blackface. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, calm down, okay? So we're just gonna squeeze some out and see. Oh, it's empty. Put some on my nose. I'm not gonna put too much because I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. Okay. Okay, it blends in really easy. It does slightly tint the skin a little bit grey. It does feel nice and smooth. I'm not noticing a mattifying effect yet. So next we have the matte foundation, and let me unwrap them first. So I believe they have 24 shades in this foundation. So I'm gonna swatch the shade 12.5. Oh my gosh, they're sealed as well. So this is 12.5. Too light for me. Shade number 13. Very warm tone. Probably should have primed my face after, because now I'm gonna wipe this off. So next we have the shade 13.5, which is looking like a match for me. The closest match anyway. I like the undertone of 13.5, it's like a nice neutral. And then last but not least, we have the shade number 14. So that one is a bit too deep for me. So it's looking like 13.5. I'm going to start with a little bit because I'm not quite sure what the coverage is. Let's see what they say. Pore blurring full coverage foundation, okay, and obviously a matte finish because it's called matte base. So matte and full coverage apparently. Get some product out. Why does this one feel empty? So you get, it is cruelty free and vegan, and you get 28 milliliters of product in here, but it does feel like half empty. I don't know. So I'm gonna start with like that much on each side, a little bit on my forehead as well. So I've been loving this Real Techniques number 200 brush for my foundation. I just love this, like how dense it is. So I'm just gonna go with that and start blending that in. Color match is really nice. Usually shades around my skin tone are like so orange. It's a bit deep compared to my neck. I might need to mix. Yeah, the coverage is actually really nice on this foundation. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to mix it. I'm gonna add a little bit of 12.5. Just a little bit. Okay, so I like how it blends out. I don't know about this color. I feel like I look a bit grey. I'm just gonna carry it down my neck just so it like matches. But aside from the colour, the coverage is really nice. It's not dried down yet. It's still quite a little bit, not dewy, it's not like super glowy, but it definitely has a little bit of radiance to it so far. So next we're going to move on to eyes, and for primer, I have tried this Prime and Lock already, and it's not full coverage. I like my eyeshadow bases to kind of be like, you know, the P. Louise one, and just completely give me a, what's it called? A flat base canvas? You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, whereas this is kind of sheer, and like once you blend it out you can still see your whole eyelid and everything. So I'm not really a fan of this, but I have tried this, which is the cut crease canvas, and this has so much more coverage. So I would say go with this one if you do like, you know, that clean look or whatever. So I'm going to take some of this cut crease canvas, and because it is so full coverage you don't need a lot, just put a little bit and then blend it out. It is quite liquidy. Okay, so today I'm going to use one of the, or maybe two of the Reloaded palettes. They launched new palettes, so they have the Marvelous Matte colourful one, they have the Iconic number 3, which looks very familiar. I feel like they have a palette like this already. They've got so many palettes I can't keep up. So this is the Provocative palette. I have used this already on my Instagram for like a tutorial, so definitely check that out. And then the last one is called Fundamental, which has like tons of shimmery shades. So of course for today I'm going to be using this one, which is the Marvelous Matte. I have used it already on their YouTube channel, so it's not like a first impression. I have used it already, but I did like a sunset type of look. I'm going to insert a picture here just in case you are interested. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with this pinky color over here and just put that all into the crease as a transition. So I'm going to start by packing. Okay, so it's building up nicely. Now I'm going to start gently diffusing the edges. Okay, so that's nice and pigmented. Do the same thing to the other eye. Bear in mind this palette is only £4. I mean, decent. Now above that I'm going to go in with the, oh, wrong shade. I'm going to go in with the yellow shade up here and put that right at the brow bone. Stamping to begin with. And I'm carrying that all the way to the inner corner. It's a decent yellow. If it shows up on my skin tone, it's good. Now taking a dab more of the pink, I'm just going to begin blending that into the yellow. Now this next step may be a mistake, but we're going to go for it anyway. I think I'm going to take this dark blue shade down here, or should I go for the purple? I might mix them, and I'm going to begin putting that on the outer edge. So I'm taking a smaller blending brush, those two shades that I pointed to, and I'm going to start by packing first and then blending. Going back to the pink one more time, just diffusing that blue. I'm liking that so far. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, so next we're going to go in and cut the crease, and I'm going to use, of course, the cut crease canvas. I did mention this in my last video, but when you take it out, it's got literally so much product on the brush. So you want to make sure you scrape off the product. And also the brush itself is a little tricky to work with. I do prefer using my brush that I usually use. I said this in my last video. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But this is the brush that I usually use, and then this is the Revolution brush. So it is smaller, and I just find it a little bit harder to use, but for the purpose of this video I'm going to use this brush. So I'm going to take some of the product onto the back of my hand and then just get an even coat of it on the brush, and we're going to try cut this crease. So the brush is just so small. It's just so small, it's going to take me forever. It's not half bad. I mean, I have done better cut creases with my other brush. I think what I'm going to do is just take my other brush quickly and fix it. I just think it's so much quicker using this brush and easier for me because I could just stamp it on and the line is there, whereas this one is like little flicks. And yeah, so I'm going to give that a second to dry down just so it doesn't mess up my shimmer shade. And because this palette is all matte, I'm going to have to go into one of the other Reloaded palettes to get the shimmer. Or should we do the eye glisten all over the eye? I haven't tried this all over the eye. I've done a halo eye with it and tapped some of it on the center, but I haven't tried to do this all over the eye. I don't know if I'm sabotaging myself. I'm gonna try do this all over the eye, and if not, I can easily just top it with a shimmer. So this is the eye glisten in the shade Yours Truly. I just don't know how it's gonna react with the cut crease canvas. Maybe I should blend the outer V first. Oh my god, this is one big experiment, guys. If it doesn't come out right, don't blame me, okay? So I'm going back into this purpley color here, and I'm gonna start pressing that onto the outer edge and blending it into the cut crease. And maybe even take a little bit of this pinky shade right here. Okay, now we're gonna take this shade, the metallic shade first. And it does come with an applicator, and someone pointed out to me that the applicator looks exactly like Stila, and yeah, the Stila one does look like this with like the flat double-sided applicator. Can you guys see that? So I'm gonna go straight from the applicator and put this on top of the cut crease canvas. Ooh, okay, they glide on really nicely. And I'm gonna use my finger to just dab that into the pinky shade. So I'm taking a dab of that pinky shade and I'm just going to dab it over where it connects with that metallic. Oh, was that a mistake? Just want it to blend really nice in the middle here. Oh no, it's going all weird. Okay, hold on. Back in with this. Maybe I should wait till it dries before I try blend it. So now that I can see this side is drying, some of it is metallic and some of it isn't. It did mix with the cut crease canvas, so I'm just gonna dab over it a little bit. But you know what? So far, so good. I'm not mad at it at all. I've got fallout on my face, so let me take my foundation brush and just clean that up. Okay guys, so I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes waiting for it to dry, and now that it is kind of dry, like 90% dry, I would say, it does feel like I'm wearing something on my lids. Like my lids do feel heavy. Also, I'm noticing that the foundation is not matte yet, and I've literally had it on for like half an hour, but I can still see like dewiness on my face. So it's not super dry and matte, like, you know, the NYX one, or what's the other one? No, I think it's just the NYX foundation, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. That dries by itself like 100% matte. This is still dewy looking. I'm gonna try go back in with that pink shade now that this side is dry, and I'm gonna try pat it on top and see what happens. Okay, it's not really sticking, and it is cracking on my lids a little bit. Like, the drier it gets. Maybe I put too many layers. Okay, so here we are up close. Do you guys see how it's like cracking on my lids and it's not blending? Also, the foundation is not matte yet, and it's been a while. I thought it would have dried down by now. It's not like super dewy radiant foundation, but it definitely has some dew to it. So it's not a matte foundation to me anyway. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of glitter in the crease. Maybe this one, Adored by You, and I'm going in with the glittery shade. The glittery shade. I'm going in with the glittery side. It's like this pinky iridescent color. I'm just carrying that through the crease. My eyelids look like crocodile skin. That's what they look like. Oh god. I might even take some on my fingers and just try dab that across the lid. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. Okay guys, we have to move on, otherwise I'm literally gonna be here all day. My face is still not matte. Let's see if it transfers. Yeah, 100% transferring. So next we're going to try the new matte base concealers. So I have the shades here, C12, C12.5 and C13. So I'm going to do 12.5 as like a face concealer. So I'm going to put this around my mouth. It is like a stick form, by the way, but it's quite creamy. That went on really easily. Do down my nose. A little bit here. Don't know, I'm just putting it everywhere. I'm gonna take my foundation brush and just dab that in. Okay, blends really easy. So now I'm taking the shade C12, and this one I'm gonna use underneath my eyes. I haven't used a stick concealer in ages. It's very easy to apply. It's quite creamy. For a matte concealer, I thought it'd be a little bit hard. I need to get a sponge. And of course mine is dry. Okay guys, so I just went to wet my sponge in the bathroom and I saw my face in natural lighting. And I'm not being funny, but I feel like this foundation is so dewy. Like, I feel like the Conceal and Define foundation dries down more than this one does, if that makes any sense. Even though this is meant to be like the matte base, it feels very dewy on my face. It hasn't dried down at all. Okay, so this concealer, I definitely still prefer the Conceal and Define. This concealer is not doing it for me. Everything looks really nice. It sits on the face really nice, but it's not matte at all. I'm just going to take my Conceal and Define concealer just for extra coverage underneath my eyes and put that on. I'm probably going to have cake face by the end of today, just because I've put so many layers. Okay, so I'm just going to blend that out real quick. Okay, so I've given up on this foundation setting itself, so I'm just going to go ahead and set it using the Banana Deep powder. Have I used this on camera? I've used it on camera, but I don't know if I've used it on my YouTube channel. So yeah, here we are. Have I? So I'm just going to pour some out onto a surface. So I'm just going to use my sponge and dab that in. Oh, maybe a little bit too much, Tammy. Today's not my day at all. And then I'm just going to dust a little bit of that everywhere else. Oh my god, I want to give up. I really want to give up. I don't like how this powder is going on with this foundation and concealer. I really want to start again. I really want to take my foundation off. It's just, it looks really cakey. And the powder's not sitting nicely on top of this foundation. You know what? I'm not a quitter. We're going to do this. I'm going to take some moisturizer. I'm going to go with the Too Faced Hangover Primer. Okay, I don't know if it's because I'm stressed out or whatever, but I don't... Is my eye... Did the eyeshadow just come off my eye? I want to stop this video. I want to stop this video. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the shade F13, since 13.5 was too deep. And I'm going to mix it with 12.5. And I'm going to use a clean brush just so it doesn't, you know, mix and all of that. This shade is so warm. Okay, we're gonna go with it. Okay, so that's already looking a bit more matte than how it was before. Now what I'm gonna do is take the Conceal and Define. I'm just gonna skip this concealer. This is way too creamy for me, which is typically why I don't use stick products anyway, because they're usually always creamy. So I'm just doing a little bit of Conceal and Define. I think I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit underneath my eyes and put some lashes on while I wait. I definitely think when it comes to this metallic eyeshadow, less is more, probably, because when I used it the first time, I literally took the smallest amount and it worked. But when you kind of swipe it on like that, 2 layers, it seems to dry up and flake off. So yeah, this is the Mascara Revolution, by the way, one of the best mascaras ever. Okay, so the foundation is definitely looking a bit more matte than the first time I used it. I'm gonna blend out the concealer now. I'm liking this already so much more. This is the thing, when one thing goes wrong, the whole face goes wrong. So what I'm going to do is take some of that Banana Deep powder, and this time I'm going to press it in with a brush rather than a sponge. Hopefully it'll sit better on the skin. Yeah, it's definitely working better. It's not removing any of the foundation this time. Yeah, it looks so much more flawless, not as cakey. I mean, this powder is still not my favorite. It is from the drugstore, but in terms of like powders overall, I definitely still prefer my Sacha. If you're on a budget, then of course the Revolution one does its job. It's just not as flawless as the Sacha one. Okay, so that is that. So for the rest of my face, I have the matte base powder, and I didn't get the shade P13, so this is the shade P11. Then we have the shade P12, and I feel like 11 is a bit darker than 12, so I'm gonna go, and then the next shade that I have is 14, and that's too deep, so I'm gonna go with P11, and I'm just gonna take it on this big fluffy powder brush. This is from New Look, and I'm just gonna dab in there, get a nice amount, and dab that over my face. Does mattify the face though, of course, because it's a powder. Okay, so I'm just doing my lower lash line. I'm going to start with the pink shade and buff that underneath here, then taking a dab of the blue and purple right on the outer edge, and then some mascara on my lower lashes. And for highlighter today, I'm going to use this Ignite palette from Revolution. I'm also going to use one of the shades, this shade here, on my inner corner. Glowy. Okay, last but not least, let's do lips. So I'm taking the NYX lip liner. This is the shade Cold Brew. And then taking the Revolution chocolate lip gloss in the shade Salted Caramel. Oh, these smell so delicious. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to take the Mario Badescu facial spray. Did I really forget to bronze? Fabulous, darling. So I'm going to take the darker shade in the face powder. I'm going to take the shade P14, which looks like that, and I'm going to use this shade to bronze. I've been using this to bronze recently, and it's a really nice powder. Okay guys, so this is what we look like. This is the final look, and I think it looks really nice now that I've started again. The concealer stick is definitely not for me. It's just too creamy. It turned my whole face like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys. You know when a concealer is just too creamy and then you put powder on top of it and it starts to move the product underneath? That's exactly what happened to me. So, but now that I went in with the matte base foundation and the Conceal and Define concealer, it's all sitting really nicely on my face now. So it leads me to believe it was this. So far it's really full coverage, like medium full, buildable definitely. I don't think it's matte. I honestly think the Conceal and Define is more matte, if not the same amount of matte as this one, but that's just my opinion from trying it once. I like the coverage. I still can't find a perfect color. I know in summer 13.5 matches me really well, but now that it's winter I just can't find a match. 13 is too warm, 12.5 is too light, and 13.5 is too dark. The powders are really nice. I would definitely say grab it for contour because these shades go really deep. I didn't show you the rest of the shades, but these are the rest of the shades. So we have P15, P16, P17, which is really warm tone compared to the rest, and then P18, which is really deep. So if you did want to get like bronzer powders, these are great for bronzing. As for all over the face, it really did mattify the face and look flawless, so you can definitely use them as face powders as well. So I love the powders. I love the eyeshadow palettes. I'm not a fan of these little concealers, like I said. I like the baking powders. I have used these before and they are super flawless on the face. I like how they sit on the face. These eye glistens, I'm torn because the first time I used it, it looked really nice on the eye. Like I said, the first time I used it, I didn't use the applicator. I put some on the back of my hand, took my finger and dabbed it on, and it just looked so nice on the eye. But today I went in with the applicator and look, you guys can see like it's just flaked off of my eye. Once again, that could be because I put too many layers. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I like the foundation now, the second time I've used it. The first time it was like cakey and not good at all, but now it's sitting really nicely on the skin. But based on how my skin looks now, I would use the foundation again, so that's always a plus. Do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a wear test. I wasn't planning to do a wear test, but I'm gonna wear this throughout the rest of the day, and then I'll come back tonight to show you guys how my face is looking, and that will give me the final verdict on this foundation. So I'll be back. Okay guys, and I'm back. So where do I even start? Look at my eyes. It's just been flaking down my face the whole day. I had to take my lashes off because one of the actual flakes fell into my eye and then my eye started watering, which is why I've got creases under my eye. It's been a disaster. But as for this foundation, it is now 6:30 in the evening. I started putting this foundation on at 12 in the afternoon, but then of course I took it off and I put it back on. So I put it back on probably like 1 o'clock. So it's been like 5.5 hours and this is how we're looking. I think it still looks pretty flawless on my face in terms of coverage, but I am getting quite dewy and quite oily, you know, in the usual places here and here. And I don't know how to feel about that because it's meant to be a matte foundation. I would have expected it to stay matte a lot longer than this. The oil on my nose is like, can you guys see that? It's a lot right now. To be fair, I didn't go in with a mattifying primer. The Too Faced primer is pretty hydrating, so but I thought it would balance out the matte foundation. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. We are 5.5 hours in, so let's just say you had an 8-hour shift, you would not be looking matte right now. The coverage is still really nice. It is not transfer proof. I have touched my face a few times throughout the day and I do have like little foundation marks on my hand and stuff, so it's definitely not transfer proof. And yeah, that's all I have to say so far, so I'll be back in a bit. Okay girlies, and I'm back. So it is now 8:07 in the evening and this is how we are looking. I'm ready to take my makeup off. If anything, my eyes feel irritated today. I think it's mainly because the glitter has been falling into my eyes. But apart from that, the foundation, do you know what? I don't think it's bad. It's held up really well for 7 hours. It's not separating. It hasn't faded. The only thing is my oily areas are oily, of course. I'm gonna try touch up with a powder just to see if it does like separate or anything like that. So I'm gonna take the Bacon Blot powder from Revolution and this is the shade Banana Deep. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my sponge and just dab that into my face. Okay, it's matting down really nice. Do here as well. Starting to look brand new again. Okay, I'm gonna do my nose. Yeah, okay, it has separated on my nose. Like you can definitely see the foundation starting to break up, but around the rest of my face it's literally gone back to normal. It looks really nice. Possibly if I would have touched up earlier on in the day, it wouldn't have got so oily and it wouldn't have separated, but from far you honestly can't tell and it doesn't look that bad at all. So for a £5 foundation, guys, like I can't forget to add the price into it. For a £5 foundation, it's lasted really well and I think it still looks pretty full coverage on the face. I wouldn't say it's the most long-lasting matte foundation I have, but it's definitely a good foundation for £5. So that is my final verdict. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm officially signing off for the night. I'm going to bed. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll catch you in my next one. Take care. Bye.